Flight Centre sales and profits rebounded sharply in the past half year, despite lower ticket prices over that time. The country's biggest network of travel agencies expects travel this year to be the strongest on record as more flights come into the market, and demand for now remains robust, both at a corporate and a personal level. Well, Flight Centre CEO and the founder, Graham Turner, joins me now. Screw, always good to chat to you on these days. I noticed the share price reaction today. Your margins have been squeezed up a bit. It seems to be a reaction to that. What's your own sense that you've got lots of people travelling? The prices seem elevated, but margins in your business especially seem a bit squeezed. What's going on?
Yeah, Ross, I think generally we're doing okay with the margins. I mean, bear in mind, our industry and us as well, of course, was shut down for a couple of years, and it's just coming back the way, steadily, but we can see this year, the full year won't be quite back to previous levels, but, the 2019 levels, but we believe that we can, our aim is to get to 2% of TTV in 2025 year, and we believe we can achieve that. That will probably give us a profit if we can achieve that of well past what we did in 2019. So it's just one of those things where you can't do everything at once, but our margins generally are coming back all right. At a gross level, our business mix has changed. We're doing more online, lower margin, lower costs as well. But we're reasonably happy with that.
And traditionally, Flight Centre has been pretty much 50-50 split between the individual traveller and the corporate traveller. Is that mix changed since COVID, and are each of them coming back equally?
Yeah, both are coming back, but the reality is corporate is coming back faster, and it is now about, I think pre-COVID it was about 45%. Leisure was about 55%, and it's reversed now. Corporate is now at 120% of pre-COVID levels in terms of TTV, and leisure's not too far off pre-COVID levels at a better margin. But so we're reasonably happy. Corporate has a great future for us, but so does leisure, we believe.
So as more seats go back in the air, that's one of the keys for you. If there's more seats, then ticket prices start to come down. Does that affect margins, or is it simply a turnover game that the more people who are travelling, then the more chance there is for you to be able to clip the ticket, as it were, as those people are using Flight Centre?
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's in our interest as much as the customers to have more seats, more capacity, more airlines, and obviously the cheaper airfares. In the corporate, the business travel side, a lot of our revenue there is not on commission, it's on transaction fees. So the more transactions, the better. And that's really what is really important for us. Whereas obviously leisure, we have a lot of add-on travel. So the more transactions we can do there, even though we tend to get remunerated on commission, but if we can get those add-ons, whether it's hotels, cruises, tours, or other things like that, it really makes a difference to us.
You know all of the arguments that have gone in, some of which will be argued in the courts at some stage, about the capacity, about the cancellation of flights, about, all of a sudden seats being taken out of the air. That's also been, what will be argued in the courts as to whether there was manipulation to try and keep ticket prices high, to keep, the number of seats down deliberately to keep those aircraft full. What's your own sense in regards to that? Because that is clearly not good to your business. It's certainly not good for travellers either.
No, there's been a lot of discussion on this, Ross, and there's no doubt in my mind, and it's the interest of airlines generally, not only in Australia, but to limit competition. It's in their interest to try to. The situation in Australia wasn't up to airlines like Qantas, but they certainly would have lobbied to restrict capacity because it's in their interest. But it's certainly not in the customer's interest, and it's certainly not in our interest to have less capacity. that has been resolved to a reasonable extent now, and we're seeing quite a bit of capacity coming back into the Australian market internationally. It's become significant now, not only the Asian carriers, the Middle Eastern carriers, but also the North American carriers. So things are looking pretty good for consumers over the next 6 to 12 months.
So from your point of view, the likes of the Qatars getting extra flights, Turkish Airlines coming into Australia, the American carriers, the Chinese carriers getting more seats, more slots into our airports, that has got to be good for the travelling public. That has got to be good for competition.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons we strongly supported Qatar coming in, as well as Turkish, and as well as the Chinese carriers. A lot of young people get to Europe through the Chinese carriers. Stop over in Shanghai or Guangdong. So it's in our interest and the travellers' interest that these carriers do come in, and Emirates has come in. Just fairly recently, they're increasing their capacity into and out of Australia. So generally good news for that, and you'll see this reflected. It's already been reflected in lower airfares, but it's still got a way to go. We think another 10% decrease over the next 12 months.
I'll tell you what, Screw Turner, always good to have you on the program on these days, and many thanks for it today.